it seems very abstract, but that is the whole purpose of we want people to find what is the purpose in life. And then when we find the purpose to live, and that's when you have passion to live.
Yeah.
And when you have passion to live, you would love to help others and also be gentle with the nature as well, because I believe that if when the humans back to nature, everything will become joyful. So the name of rairuenrom, you might I know many people have difficulty of saying.
Right. I do only
No,
because
everyone,
my R.
everyone. No,
It's hard to roll my
so
R's.
we right now we trying to make it like triple R.
Triple R. Okay.
Because it's rairuenrom. Rai mean
Rairuenrom.
farm. Rom is mean joyful. So because we believe that when we harmony with the land, everything will become joyful. But first, the person needs to be able to find their inner calling first, the purpose of life first, to be able to care about other people. And I feel that right now in this present of the world, everything's so fast, but yet people are lack of passion, you know, like in this generation,
Right.
especially the kids, they can go into internet, everything is so fast, they can get all the information.
Yeah, and it's easy to be very passive and just let things happen and let things come to you without you yourself having the creativity and the, I don't know what it is, like to just go out and like to be creative and to bring something out. It's very easy in today's world to just let things happen and just sit back and be
I think that I think what the history teach us is that whatever we think whatever we get is difficulty to get, you know, so you appreciate more. Before if you can imagine they send letters, and when you receive letter you're like,
because
wow.
you wait like so long, you wait
Exactly.
weeks before something comes in the mail, and
and it takes about like patience to do everything, right?
Yeah.
But here
it's instant.
if you want to do work something, you work. If you don't like, you don't work. You feel passion, you just keep on going. That's why this young generation, there are so lack of inspiration to live. This is something that for me, because I've been hearing a lot about like these kids, their lack of passion, so they have nothing to do, and then they feel they don't want to live. That's why they kill themselves, because what's the point of living? Because everything just work and then make money, and so what? You feel empty, you know. That's why we want to be a place where it's full of inspiration with the nature and the people, the local as well. Because for me, I'm a city person.
I was always raised in cities.
Yeah.
I'm the same. I come from cities. So I know nothing about even living off of land and like returning to my roots.
And so I told my mom that whenever I left the city, I felt like home. That's what I said to her since I was young. So I went to many villagers, the locals, when during summertime. That is when I get more inspiration to live outside and to find, wow, there's still something to look for in life, you know. And even especially with the minority and the local, the villagers, they're so happy, the true happiness through the simple life. So this is something that we want to reconnect people to come back to nature. So when you come and you be with yourself, with the nature, and you get to listen to yourself more, you get to be with yourself, that's when you question more with your life. And that's when you find, like, you filter ideas, and you filter what is your passion in life, you know. So I think that for you to answer yourself, maybe it's a question to you that why do you think you want to go back and do farming? You got to answer that first, so you know what kind of farm you want it to be. Because I have like workshops about organic farming. I tell people that, you know, not everyone are supposed to be farmer. I'm not an agriculture person, but I'm more like inspirational person that to let people understand that maybe, for example, the doctor wants to open a farm. You don't have to, the doctor doesn't have to be the one who planned the farm. It could be the local you connected with, and you could set up something that is in this kind of world. You don't have to be the same traditional agriculture. You know, you can do something small, and it could impact something more valuable, or you could start small. So whatever you do, like when you come here, you might think, oh wow, it's a big farm, but I started small.
Yeah, what I did want to know, how do you start small and then expand to, you know, what I see today? How does that happen?
That's
I know
why
it takes time.
Yeah, I know. That's
know.
why I said that first you set the goal.
Yeah.
You set the goal, like you say that, wow, I want to set up a farm.
Yeah.
But it's good that is your starting point. But you gotta question yourself even deeply that why?
Yeah.
Why? Because, for example, some people want to set up a farm for the health. Some people want just to have enough food. Some people want to work with the community. Some people want to do the business. So this is the foundation of your farm, and that will shape your characteristic of the farm. It could be farm that specialize in this thing and that thing. And I don't know about what you have done before in your job, but don't throw it away, because it's something that you can
apply it to
it to be your value proposition or your core value of your farm. For me, when I say that, oh, rairuenrom, that is my core value that I want to share with people. That's why you think that, wow, you share everything. You share recipe. You don't think people are gonna steal. No, copy it.
You want that.
I want that. That's why my goal is set. That's how I apply into the accommodation and to this, so people can get to live and learn through experience. Through the locals and through the activities. You know, we trying to make the activities that you feel that you can apply into lifestyle, not just the farming part. Because in Thailand, the difficult part is the marketing. They can plant, you know, but for the city people, they can do marketing, but they don't know how to plant. But first, they have to be able to appreciate what the nature gives to them first, to understand the core values first. That's why we make an activity this way, so people to experience and inspired. For example, the natural dye is one of a kind. If you do it the same, it will not be the same. It's a one piece of this world, you know. And then you get to be yourself. Oh, you know, that you say you never done the baking before. It's always first time, but it might not be your last time. But it opens up your to get out of your comfort zone. That, oh, I'm not a chef, I'm not a cook, I don't know. Try.
Put your hands in it. Like anyone can do something and start small. I like that. Yeah.
So that's why I think that during this time, because I used to travel around as well before I set up the farm. And once you set up the farm, you never get to go around, you know. That's why I told you that you go see first, you know, and find what is your truly things that you want to design. Because whatever you do to set up the farm, that's why I set up the social enterprise. That's why I have to make it a business. Because if I set up a foundation, I need donation. But I want people to be able to say that, oh, you know, we can settle on our own, be able to help the others, and also earn money as well, to be able to sustain.
Exactly, to keep the business going without depending too much on something that's one-sided. So I totally get that. So like my idea or my reason for even starting is like in 2021 when I went back home, and home is the Congo, I think I share that. So I went to my dad's village, and I met up with a farmer there, and he was telling me that there's such a food shortage in a country that's so minerally rich, and the soil is really rich, and it's prime for farming and for agriculture. people have been giving that up because they're avoiding like a lifetime of, farming is considered, to be poor or to lack resources. And so they're giving that up to go live in the major city, the capital, Kinshasa, and they're selling their land and they're losing everything. So once they get to the major city, there's maybe no jobs, no prospects, no nothing. And so we're losing farmers with every year, every generation. And in return, we get people, don't really get much in return. We're importing almost everything to the point where food has become so expensive. And that's a story anywhere in the world. So he was telling me that even because food is so expensive and it's becoming so
shortage.
There's such a shortage that they're cutting tomato cans in half and selling it to people like that. And so even tomatoes, we're not even growing enough tomatoes to feed the demand for it. And so I thought, this is insane. This is crazy. So I like you, I'm not a farmer. I didn't grow up with this idea, but that kind of planted a seed. So I went back to the US and I was living in New York at the time. And this was already post-pandemic. So, you can imagine what it was like in the pandemic in New York City. We were all kind of locked away, not going out. I spent the first 2 months in a tiny apartment. So already that was another, the initial seed really, that I need space and that I don't want to live cooped up in a city like this. So then I go home in 2021 and I'm hearing these stories about, the food shortage and how the Congo is importing, foods that we shouldn't be importing. So it just didn't make any sense to me. And you fast forward to now, I'm at the point where I've done some reading. I'm not an expert, but I've done some reading. I visited certain farms and I was like, why can't we do this in my own country? Why aren't there more people already doing it now? And I wish that I could be there right now doing this and instituting all of these things that I've been learning. But something in me is just saying, you're not ready yet. You're not ready yet. You need to see more. You need to experience more, maybe earn more money, save more, because it's a huge endeavor. So that's where I am. I'm before I've even started anything, I'm again, I don't even have the land. I was last time I went back in 2023, I was scouting land, but I didn't go for it just yet. But in my mind, I have a timeline of with anywhere between now and the next couple of years, maybe by 2026, I can at least have the land and start laying the foundation and the groundwork to start, just maybe a small community farm. It doesn't have to be a huge enterprise, but something small to help a local community be able to sustain itself, be able to, pay farmers a living wage so they can send their children to school, things like that. And so that is what's motivating me now. But then there's also I guess you could call it selfish side of me that also just likes natural beauty. And I love being able to have the opportunity to see people do this and already have it up and running. And so I get so much inspiration, not only for my future business ideas, but also for just how life should be, how simple, life should be. You wake up in the morning, you watch the sunrise from the mountain, that. And
then you watch the sunset.
Exactly. That feeds my soul too. So it's selfishly I'm doing it for that. But I also, in the back of my mind also have this, more practical reasons for why this is a good thing to get into.
So I would recommend you that for me, the first step is you travel around just a bit, just to explore.
Yeah.
And then you settle, as in, don't buy anything yet. You go to a place where you get to learn in the real work.
Yeah.
As in the hard part, the difficult part, the boring one.
Yeah.
Because they always suicide there's it's farming, it's so much fun, and then there's the boring part, there's the routine, there's everything, but yet you get to see what is the difficulties before you really set up. And because before I set up this farm, I went to stay in a learning center near Bangkok, and in that space it's one area you stay, one person, and that's very difficult because you live in a hut where there's no window or door. It's just a hut, you see it on the rice field, and you live on no electricity, no water. And I stayed there for 1 year.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, that's the most difficult time of my life. But that is when I realized I get out of my comfort zone and I can do this.
Yes.
But everything is not even start from zero. It's like -1 because I don't know how to cook anything. And then it has to be on scratch. As in fire, you don't have electricity. You have to get, but the thing is we help each other because we have set up another land next to it. There's people who one land person. So they're like connecting that, oh, you go help the people next door, they will teach you what to do. It's like a sibling kind of thing, like brother sister helping. But that
So
way,
it's almost like an apprenticeship kind of, or
like
is that,
like a place there they teach, like the older one who comes in teach the new coming in,
okay.
something like that.
Okay.
More like no syllabus or anything, but we learn about organic, like through soy and fermenting the compost and everything, taking care of animals. And then when I come here, I open this as a I start the small farming like rice and then vegetables and do it integrated farming. And then I also do the workshop because I realized that a lot of people needed a place to play first before they go into real stuff, and as in the play, as in you can stay for 7 days, you can stay for 1 month, and then you ask yourself again whether you still want to do it or not before you start buying a land and paying something. You just play here and just realize and answer yourself that yes, I can do this, or no, I think I'm more on different directions.
Yeah.
So I think this is something that we want to open an opportunity for people to be able to try whether what is in your mind, and if it's happened, maybe it's not like what is in your mind, but you get to try first.
Yeah.
In a week, 1 week, 1 month, or even 1 year, because I spent there 1 year. I learned a lot, but
Did you
when
know
I come
going
here,
in that it would be a year for you? Did
No.
you? No, really?
No, because usually the course is 5 months. But I say that I want to know for the whole year, every season, what I would overcome. The raining season is so difficult. The dry season so hot without a fan, and then every season has stories,
Yeah.
have
Probably wins and challenges.
everything
Yeah.
is different. Each year is different.
Yeah.
So even though I learned there for 1 year and I come out and set up the farm, I still have a lot to learn to apply to this land, because that is in near Bangkok and this is up north. So, but yet I have a foundation to apply.
Yeah.
That
That's
is-
the important thing.
Yes, that's why I think that if you travel and then you gotta, before you settle, you gotta learn the life experience through farming if you really want to do the farming or not, and see which way you want to be focusing on, because when you learn about farming, like, oh, this plant, this can apply to this, or oh, I want to do more wellness side, or I want to do more like dry and make it into powder, or I want to make more like cooking class or something. You don't have to do everything. That is something I tell everyone, that when you set up a small farm, you don't have to be able to do everything from the start to the end. It could be anything. Even for the experience, it could be 1 month. You open it for 1 month. You don't have to be open for 1 year long. It's up to you.
Yeah.
You don't even have to open a farm stay. You can find maybe a village where they want to open up the house to be like, like a homestay for experience, and you don't have to invest in your own money first.
That's another consideration of mine, of like just the trying to be practical about it, is funding. So we all know farms are really expensive.
Yes,
How
everything is
does-
in the soil.
Yeah, that is actually the answer. Actually, yeah. I mean, like, but for somebody like me who is, I think of everything, and I worry so much, and I think of all of the challenges before I even start something. So for me, the thing that stops me is like funding. How do I first get into a region that I don't even have any experience in, and how do I, once you buy the land, how do you afford to to fund something like this for even start. So like, I guess my question is, if you were talking to somebody who has the passion and has the idea but doesn't have the funding, what would you advise a person like that as a way in?
I would suggest that you have to find first that where would you find your source of income, the main income first, because when you do the agriculture, you invest first, right? You invest first doesn't mean that you can getting money in 2 months or 3 months, because with the soy it takes time. So if you really want to be in the agriculture business, for example, you start off with trading first. For example, you go into the village, see what they have, and you start helping them marketing part. You do the marketing first. You help them with the marketing and see how it goes, and you think, oh, okay, it could be your source of income. Or, for example, other people who there's this doctor, she's psychiatrist. She wants to quit to being a doctor and plant some salad. That's her dream. But I say, like, you don't have to throw away your occupation. You can do it in your farm and open like a private course of therapy for your patient, while you can do growing lettuce as your hobbies. Because don't make your hobbies become, it's like something you're inspiration of, but
To replace
you're
what
trying
is-
to find the income from it, so
Yeah.
you don't enjoy it anymore.
Yeah.
Because you have to, I have to make money, because I have to make this place sustain, because it keep on going. Because you cutting the grass, you need what? Petrol, maybe cutting the grass, or you need a person who work within the farm. You need to pay them the money. So everything it could be start off with money first. So you need to think what it be your source of income. Where would you get the source of income? Because, for example, if you have this amount of money to spend, what would be your I would call it like a protection. It's like
insurance,
like an insurance, like a secondary of the source of income. Not just I put everything in there.
So have like a safety net kind of.
Exactly. For example, if your safety net, you spend this and you still it's not okay, you don't have to continue. You still have something to go on. And also, I would recommend that don't buy a land yet. You start with the learning center somewhere to learn, and then if you go back, you start renting.
Like lease the land.
Land just to try for a year or something, and you're like, this might not be a good place for you. You can change. You don't obligate to stay in that land.
That's good advice.
And also, you could go with the person who also owns the land and have nothing to do, don't know what to do with the land, and help them with the marketing, and you can get the percent or whatever, divided. There's so many revenue model that you could do. You don't have to spend everything on your own.
So that's actually really good advice, because somebody like me likes to go all in. And I'm obviously giving it time before I go all in, but like just to hear that you can ease into it, there are things that you could do as you're getting in to safeguard you in case you need to, have a backup plan or something like that.
Backup plan. That's the word.
So that's like, just for me, it's good to hear that maybe not everybody can go all in all at once.
And because most of them who jump all at once, most of them with no plans first, and they jump in, they go back to the city because they spend all the money, and they still have to go back and find the money.
That makes sense. I don't want that to happen to me, but so my idea is just to maybe ease into it by starting small, and then as we
I would
try something
recommend to connect with the local, find one or two that you feel that you can work with, and you help them, because I'm sure there's local farmers in your areas that needed help. They know how to plant, but they don't know the internet. They don't know the marketing. They don't know application. They don't know there's so many like this in
Yeah,
the world, and
yeah.
there's so many like this in many countries.
Yeah, that's actually true for where I'm trying to do it.
And then when
Very
you
true.
realize you can plan something as a hobby, you don't have to do it everything on your own, because for them it takes 10 minutes, but for you it might take a year, you know, because you
They know what they know.
exactly.
Yeah.
So find yourself what you're good at and help them and connect, and that you can also enjoy the nature, and then you feel you feel precious as well, that you're helping other people and you're doing what you're good at, and you still get to see the sunrise and sunset and enjoy.
I don't ever want to lose that. I don't ever
Yeah.
want to lose that for as long as I live, of just simple pleasures of why, we need to connect to the land. I don't ever want to get into the business side of it and be lost in stress and, worries and this didn't work out. Like, I always want to maintain, no matter what difficulty is happening around me and like with the business, I always want to maintain the reason, that I smile when I wake up and see the sun in the morning. Like, so it's always important to keep that little bit, no matter what struggles are happening.
That's why I think that it's important for people to come and experience the farming life.
Yeah.
That whatever they imagine and whatever is the real life is totally different. I don't mean that you will stop loving farming, but I just want you to experience the real life situation before you decide it, before you know how to go on, before you know what to invest, and what to start small, and find, like I say, find your core value of your brand. Your farming is your brand.
Yeah.
So even though you don't want the name, you gotta think of some name, or you gotta think of something, but this is something that it takes time, and I think that you'll find the right name along the journey, and also that will find your core value.
Yours is a really beautiful story. So I didn't know anything about this farm really. Like, I did my initial Google search, but it wasn't actually until today, because I looked up how the farm started, and I think this is the story on your website. I think I read it and I was like, oh, that's almost me. This is almost me. And so like I think it's really beautiful when somebody who had didn't have this in their background, finds it at whatever point in their life, because something must have happened. Something must have been a catalyst for you to be like, wake up one day and decide, like, I want to go into this unknown. So like, it was the most beautiful story. I'm not just saying that to say because you're in front of me, but no, it really was. It was like the story that I think exemplifies how we're all living. Like, sometimes you have to break your character all the way down and then rebuild it back up, and I'm telling you, it sounds like a little bit of what I've been going through in the past couple of years, and so for you to like put that together and summarize it in such in a way that I connected with, I was like, I totally fell in love with the nexus of how this farm started, from reading what inspired you and how you got into it. And so yeah, you are a very inspirational force. I know you hear that a lot. You're probably tired of hearing it, but no, you really are. And so yeah, thank you so much for even having the time to sit with me.
I mean, that's why I want to share this, because that is my goal. But I still have to make a living to earn the money and to help other people, and for my staff to get a better quality of life. That's my goal as well. That's why I have this time to talk to you, because I know that there's so many obstacles. I know you can do it, but you just get the right buttons up first, the first step. Find the passion, find the purpose first. Then you know what's next step is. Because when I say that life experience, that's just the tools, but you gotta find first the core and the heart of your business, a heart of your farming.
Yeah. So years from now, even if you forget my name, like, I will email you and like, look what we are doing in this small village in this corner of the world, and it's gonna be.
We're waiting. We're waiting
I
to hear your
wait.
story.
No, honestly, you will, and I think you should know even now that even in everybody that you talk to, who's, you know, really serious about this, you are adding another piece, another layer, like, you know, that they needed to hear in that minute. So you have helped me. So I'm gonna look back at this conversation and be like, yeah, I met this woman, you know, in Thailand who's doing this amazing thing, and so yeah, like it's honestly, it's like a little kernel of just energy, that like a boost that I need to know I'm going in the right direction. So thank you. Yeah,
You're welcome.
honestly.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and everybody here. Oh, she wasn't lying when she said she can play for hours without getting like, our arms are aching and like she still wants to. She's like,
And
I'm ready.
some people come here just to play with her, and after an hour, she's like, I give up.
ยังไม่หยุดเล่น
The person's like,
Oh, the
give up.
person.
The person.
I was like,
The person said, I give